Ito ang inyong lingkod na nagbabalik upang magbigay ng mga balitang walang bias at pawang katotohanan lamang. Ito ang Bayang Pinas. Ang isyung ito ay naging usap-usapan sa buong bansa at iba't ibang social media platforms. Ngunit bago tayo magpatuloy sa aktual na video ay tayo muna ay magbasa ng mga hinaing, komento at opinyon ng ating mga netizen. I love you more, Madam VP. Fight, fight, fight lang po. God knows kung sinong nagsasabi ng totoo at hindi patuloy sa pagiging good public servant. Mabuhay ka po. Salute you, salute your leadership and for being you, Madam VP. God bless. Marami po kayong dapat magawang investigation sa Congress, Senate, even the Office of the President. Kailangan din po nila ipakita ang expenses, breakdowns para ma-justify nila yung nangyari sa budget nila. Ang problema sa dami ng congressman plus senators plus head of agencies plus office of the office of the president, baka abutin po ng panibagong eleksyon di pa matapos ang investigasyon. Wala kaming pakialam sa mga paliwanag nyo kasi ang purpose nyo lang naman is ma-impeach si Vice President Sara. 100% pa rin ang aming tiwala sa Vice President Sara Duterte, support Duterte. Ano? Acop? Ano? Sakop mo lahat noon na ang sabihing ikaw lang ang magaling mag-imbestiga o kayo ngayong ang iimbestigahan sa susunod na administrasyon? Nga din kayo, tandaan mo yan, OMG. Comment ko lang po, bakit naman po kasi napabata pa ng mga representative ng COA. Tapos kapag nadiin sa tanong, alam po may isasabing na malalim na pananaw at hadhikain ng COA. Puro sila nagsisitabaan sa posisyon nila, mukhang hayahay sa buhay. Nakapasa lang ng board, mataas na agad ang posisyon sa government offices pero di binasa sa mga sensitibong topics. Sayang lang po ang binabayad sa kanila ng taong bayan. Nakakainis na po, madaling matakot sa mga pulpul na tongresong ito. Dito nga sa aming probinsya, Benguet, noong si Aquino ang presidente, walang kuryente, daan namin lubak-lubak, eskwelahan yung dati pa rin na luma. Pero noong Duterte ang Pangulo na bago lahat. Farm to market na sementado na, kuryente meron na eskwelahan, 2 stories na. Kaya maraming nabago noong Duterte ang Pangulo. Kaya dapat ibalik ang Duterte. Salamat po. Well, para nga sa kabuang detalye at impormasyon ay panoorin na lamang ang buong video. At salamat na rin sa ating mga solid viewers sa mga walang sawang pagsuporta. At kung bago naman sa ating channel ay syempre huwag kakalimutang mag-subscribe, pindutin ang notification bell, piliin na rin ang all upang laging maging updated sa mga bago at nagbabagang mga balita. At kung bago pa lamang sa ating channel ay syempre huwag kakalimutang mag-subscribe, pindutin ang notification bell, piliin na rin ang all upang laging maging updated sa mga balitang bago, totoo at walang bias. Dito sa channel ng Bayan, ang Bayang Pinas. Muli po mga kaibigan, maraming salamat and God bless.
Or pag hindi nababasa ng maayos yung acknowledgement receipt. Mr. Chair, dapat po talaga na humarap na yung mga tao na ating sinusubpina, na ating pinapatawag dito sa na naka-destino o naka-assign sa office ng Vice President.
Tell me, dalawang bagay lang po. Kasi dami ko na naimbestigahan na ganito nung nasa pulis ako saka sa PCINP. Di ba? Either ibinulsa or ginamit sa iba. Either way, mali. Di po ba? Would you agree, COA?
If the liquidation po is bogus,
Kasi hindi naman napunta doon sa totoo doon sa clearing instruments na binigay. Di ba? Kung naibulsa, masama. Ninakaw mo na di ba? Ngayon, kung ginamit sa iba, technical malversation yun. Would you agree with me, Attorney?
that is assuming it was not used as confidential expense po.
Mali na nga yung clearing instrument sa liquidation process Yung mali yung pag-clear at saka pag-liquidate, what is your conclusion?
That the funds were not used as confidential.
Supposed to be used.
As
it is supposed to be used.
It's supposed to be used.
Yes. That
Confidential funds. the Commission on Audit relies mainly on DPEs, which is the case of OBP, are ARs. Napaka-importante po nito dahil napapatunayan kung saan at kung paano at kung sino ang tumatanggap ng mga payments na galing sa Office of the Vice President. The COA has confirmed that these documents are noted as submitted out of mere compliance, almost to the point of being ministerial. We have confirmed that these DEPs, despite its key roles in ensuring proper receipt of confidential funds and utilization as indicated in accomplishment reports, has been the documents submitted out of mere compliance, perhaps at the cost of its truth and accuracy. Mr. Chair, I would like to manifest that the purpose of this acknowledgement receipt, at least in theory, is to safeguard the use of confidential funds. Paano po natin maipapakita through sa acknowledgement receipts kung ang tao na tumatanggap nito at kung saan ito napunta at ginagastos. Kahit confidential funds po ito, need po natin bantayan kung paano ito nagagastos at kung paano ito nagagamit. However, despite the intent, an examination of these acknowledgement receipts submitted in the liquidation of the OVP's confidential funds shows the alarming discrepancies and indications of irregularity. Meron pong pagdududa kung saan at paano ginamit ang confidential fund ng OVP. Mr. Chair, meron po ako ipapakita na acknowledgement receipt dated December 2022. Ito po yung documents in evidencing payment. Nakita po natin na walang nakalagay sa acknowledgement receipt na ito, walang nakalagay na date. Bakit po kaya walang date din na nakalagay dito? Naka-blank po yung date. So this acknowledgement receipt was included with ARs dated December 22 or part of the DEPs of 2022. Based on this acknowledgement receipt, it is the auditors were able to determine whether the money was actually issued in 2022. Napakahirap po patunayan kung talagang 2022 nga po ba ginastos o ginamit itong mga ARs na isinabmit ng Office of the Vice President dahil wala nga po itong date. Ano po ba yung nakapaloob sa acknowledgement receipt na ito? Wala rin po itong period covered. So, ano po ang dahilan kung bakit kailangan may nakalagay na period covered sa isang acknowledgement receipt na ito? Tingin ko po kailangan nating malaman para malaman din natin kung kailan at para saan ito ginamit. Kung wala po itong date sa nakikita ninyo, medyo hindi katanggap-tanggap at talagang nakakapagduda kung saan at paano ginamit.
Thank you. The next interpellator is Congressman Acop.
Honor, may I be recognized?
Yes, with the indulgence of Congressman Acop, the COMSEC is recognized.
Your Honor, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong Gonzales Jr. from the 3rd District of Pampanga, Deputy Majority Leader Alfred C. De Los Santos from Ang Provinciano Party List, and Congresswoman Micaela Angela B. Swansing from the 1st District of Nueva Ecija. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Kong Acop.
Mr. Chair, may I proceed?
Yes, please proceed, Congressman Acop.
Marami pong salamat. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. And before I proceed with my interpellation proper, Attorney Pua.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Would it be correct that you stated in the previous hearing na only the Vice President and the SDO know where the confidential funds went?
Based on the documents, Your Honor, I would assume so.
Did you state that?
I was asked, Mr. Chair, I was asked, Your Honor, I think by Representative Castro, if I knew anything about it. And I said na sa totoo, wala po talaga akong kinalaman sa management or operation ng confidential funds. So if I remember correctly, and the transcripts would probably bear me out, tinanong niya, kung hindi ikaw, sino? So I said, I would assume the signatories, Your Honor, of the certifications and of the other documents. And she asked me who, so I said the SDO and probably the head of agency.
So yung sagot po ninyo, it's a presumption.
Well, Your Honor, kasi hindi ko po alam kung saan...
Because you
how
answered the
it's-
question under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
And therefore, you stated the name of the Vice President and the Special Dispersing Officer. That they're the only ones who know where the confidential funds went.
That is correct, Your Honor. No?
That is
Because
why I asked
based
you
on the documents. Yes.
whether you stated this statement in the last hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. But I think just to clarify, I mentioned that it was based on the documents, Your Honor, because the documents would point that way.
Kasi kung titingnan ko yung statement po ninyo, kung wala nang ibang nakakalam kung saan napunta yung pondo, ay dadalawang bagay lang ang nangyari. Di ba? Kasi either ibinulsa ni VP o ni STO o ginamit sa ibang bagay ni VP at saka ni SDO. Hindi po ba?
Your Honor, please, I wasn't...
Hindi, yun po yung sagot
But
ninyo.
I wasn't
That's why-
alluding to that, Your Honor. I
I beg your pardon?
I wasn't alluding to that, Your Honor, if I may
No,
beg your
actually-
indulgence. Opo.
Kowa, correct me if I'm wrong. Di ba? Yung pondo allocated sa office. Tama. Nag-cash advance sila from Land Bank. Tama. Land Bank, nag-cash advance sila doon, dinala sa opisina. Ang makaalam na lang doon ay yung head of office or head of agency at saka yung special disbursing officer. Tama. Di ba ba? At yung special disbursing officer, yun yung mag-allocate kung saan pupunta yung gagastusin yung pondo. Di po ba? Sagutin niyo ako, Kowa. Do you agree with me? Yes. Pakisabi sa mic para marinig po lahat.
With your permission, Your Honor, yes po, Your Honor.
Yes. And therefore, kung yung liquidation or clearing process ay hindi totoo at bogus, ibig sabihin, nagamit yung pera sa ibang bagay. Would you agree with me, Kowa?
Well, based on your statement, Your Honor, and based on which you said that the liquidation or the documents are bogus, so we presume that the funds, no other evidence presented, were illegally disbursed.
Hindi po ba kayo kumbinsido sa mga sagot ninyo at saka sa mga katanungan na aking mga kasama na yung DEPs or documentary evidence of payments or acknowledgement receipts ay puro may diferensya? Di po ba? And therefore, pag yung liquidation instruments, part of your clearing process or liquidation process ay mali-mali na, ay saan napunta yung pera? Is the logical conclusion. Di po ba? Would you agree with me, Madam Attorney?
Personal opinion, yes, Mr. Chair.
Ha?
Personal opinion po, Mr. Chair, yes, I would have to agree.
Ewan ko. Pero kasi sa dami na naimbestigahan ko, ganun ang nakikita ko eh. Kayo naman, ang tagal nyo na sa COA, hindi nyo pa rin nakikita yon. Di ba? Kasi if your liquidation or clearing process is wrong, Di definitely, yung, kung saan pununtan yung pera, hindi po dun sa tama. Could you give me an instance na mali yung liquidation process, tama yung pinuntahan ng pera? Pursuant to your guidelines.
Yun nga po, Mr. Chair, personal opinion, if the confidential funds were not used as it is intended to be used, it's already technical malversation.
Yes, kasi kitang-kita naman na yung paggamit po nila sa pondo, parang nilegalize lang nila by their submission to you, yung DEPs nila, o kaya ARs, or acknowledgement receipts. Di ba? Na mali-mali. Would you agree with me?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. Kasi yun ang nakikita ko na nangyari, process Nag-withdraw sa land bank dahil nandun yung pondo na confidential fund. Dinala sa opisina yung SDO. Hindi ko alam. Kaya nga hinahanap namin yung SDO para tanuhin namin kung saan napunta Paano niya inallocate yung pondo But as it is, yung liquidation instruments ay mali-mali po Kaya sigurado ako, hindi napunta sa tama rin yung pondo. There are only two things na pinuntahan yung pondo. Nagamit sa iba o ibinulsa. So ayaw nyo matanggap yun. Ako kaya kong tanggapin. Kasi marami na akong dinaanan na investigasyon. Na ganun. Natameme kayo? Ha? Di ba? Could you please tell us? Kasi marami nangyayaring ganito Which, I think, you know. Kasi hindi lang naman doon sa OBP yan, tingin ko. Okay? So, pwede po bang malaman? Yun pong mga certification na ginamit po yung security group ni Vice President. Tinanggap din po ninyo.
Mr. Chair, hindi po. Yung proof sa rewards ni OVP, hindi po. Kaya po na-disallow yung payment of rewards.
Sa DepEd?
Sa DepEd po kasi, parang na-deem namin na independent party yung nagbigay ng certification. So,
Pakilapit lang yung...
since na-deem namin na independent na group yung nag-issue ng certifications, we accepted the certifications.
So, tinanggap ninyo?
Opo, Mr.
Yung
Chair.
yung certification galing doon sa office ng Vice President Security Group?
Hindi po. Yun ang hindi po namin tinanggap since parang kasama din po ng OVP po yun Pero yung sa DepEd po kasi, ibang party na po kasi yung nag-issue ng mga certifications.
Ayun yung natanong na nung last hearing
Yes,
yung mga
Mr. Chair.
Philippine Army units
Yes, Mr. Chair.
na nag-conduct ng Youth Leadership Summit.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. But would you agree with me that the office of the Vice President is separate from the office of the VPSG?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but they are the group that is specifically, it's like yung PSG po ni President na specific na naka-assign kay VP po.
Kaya nga. And would you agree with me also that the office of the security group of the Vice President would have their own funds?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, and therefore would not need the confidential funds coming from the Secretary of the Department of Education and from the Office of the Vice President. Would you agree with me?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Thank you. Wala kasi dito yung mga kwan eh. Dapat yun ang tatanungin eh. Now, are you aware na there were 787 acknowledgement receipts where there were no names but there were signatures?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You're aware of that. And there were 302 ARs that had unreasonable names. Would you agree also?
Unreasonable names, Mr. Chair.
Unreadable.
Unreadable. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Then there were 5 names repeated.
That was not an observation, Mr. Chair. Yung repeated names po, hindi po namin naging
Hindi
observation.
nyo nakita yon. Okay. And insofar as the confidential fund of the Department of Education is concerned, yung location ng where the YLS were conducted did not match locations where information to support this YLS were supposedly bought. Would you agree with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair. More specific areas po yung certification.
Yes. Now, would you also agree that there were identical entries, amount expended, and number of receipts for the second and third quarter of 2023 for entries on provision of medical and food aid?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
It's not very unusual naman po since
I beg your pardon?
it's not very unusual naman po since pwede naman po talaga mangyari
So usual
na,
yung nangyayari yon.
hindi naman po usual pero hindi naman siya ganun ka-unusual.
O sige. Whether it's usual or unusual, is it in accordance with the joint circular?
Sa joint circular po kasi documentary evidence of payment lang po ang requirement.
Sa pakisagot lang yung tanong, whether usual or unusual, is it in accordance with your joint circular?
Since the document was submitted
You
po,
think they are?
yes po, yes.
So it's your opinion?
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
thank you. May we go to yung kwan, yung acknowledgement receipts or DEPs. Now, we have examined yung DEPs or acknowledgement receipt, which were used to liquidate the confidential funds. And I would like, Mr. Chair, to make the following statements from the examination. May nakita po na mga acknowledgement receipts that all appear to be signed by the same pen. Would you agree with that also, Madam Kawa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Since either blue or black po yung...
Yes, kaya nga. Makikita po natin ito sa color ng ink.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Which is a very distinct shade of blue na may shades of black. I think it's there shown. Yan di po ba yung acknowledgement receipts na nasa inyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And wala po kayong napansin?
Yung ni-note lang po namin is yung mga iba ang date, yung mga unsigned. Yun po, Mr. Chair.
Ganon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to manifest that all these acknowledgement receipts are under the names of different persons, pero wala po dyan yung naulit. Dyan po sa 10 na yan. But if we look at it, the names and signatures of different persons appear to be written with the same pen with a distinct ink on different dates. I think this is highly irregular bilang ako isang investigador. Now, Madam Attorney, you confirm that you have received these acknowledgement receipts as part of the submissions of the Office of the Vice President to liquidate their confidential funds?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Okay. Now, would you agree with me that these 10 acknowledgement receipts appear to be written with the same color of ink? Yes?
Like I said, sir, it's either blue or black po kasi yung ink. So,
Gusto ko lang malaman yung sagot po ninyo.
yes, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. And this is a distinct shade of blue na almost black. Parang may gradient po siya. Tama.
I cannot remember.
Kaya nga ikaw,
na,
sabi mo,
Mr.
ang sagot
Chair.
mo, it's either blue or black eh. Kasi parang naglalaro yung ink na ginamit sa blue or black.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Common
Yeah.
naman po yun na nakikita namin either blue or black ang signature.
When you say common, sa lahat po ba ng opisina na in-audit niyo, ganyan?
Either blue or black. Yes, Mr.
Blue or
Chair.
black din? Sa lahat ng opisina ng gobyerno na in-audit ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Like, kami rin, sir, either blue or black po ang ginagamit namin.
Ha?
Either blue or black din po yung ginagamit namin.
Yeah. And I would like to show kung ano yung ink dun sa pag-imbestiga namin eh. Yan. Yung kulay. It's Prussian blue. Would you confirm that this is the same or very similar color as the ones in the ARs that were submitted to you?
Hindi ko na maalala yung itsura, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Tingnan po natin yung kwan. Yung pinirmahan ni Assistant or ASEC Ortonio. Hindi po ba parehas yung pinakita ko na Prussian blue?
Mukhang parehas, Mr. Chair.
Ha?
Mukha pong parehas.
Parehas. So it's the same ink used by ASEC Lemuel Ortonio, the Assistant Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President. Tama?
Mukha pong pareho, Mr. Chair.
No. Now, Mr. Chair, there had been also observations that there are acknowledgement receipts which bear the same or similar handwriting. Parehas po ang handwriting. May nakita rin po ba kayong ganon, Madam Attorney, na halos parehas ang handwriting doon sa mga ARs?
Hindi naman po kami experts sa handwriting, Mr. Chair.
Hindi naman kailangan ng expert para makita kung minsan yan eh. Comsec, pwede ba ipakita yung kwan? Yung picture ng halos parehas ng kwan? Ng handwriting? Yung AR dated July 27, 2023 and July 25, 2023. Kung pwede ipakita. No problem. Hindi maikwan. Saan ba sila?
Sir, may I be acknowledged while we're waiting for ICTS to fix the technical problem? Your
Yes, Comsec, you are acknowledged.
Your Honor, we would like to recognize Honorable Julian Jam Baronda, Deputy Majority Leader.
Intindi rito, correct me if I'm wrong, na dapat may makuha ng information na ginamit yung confidential fund and that an activity was conducted because of that information and that information gathering and that activity were successful.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama po ba yung
Tama po.
pagkaintindi ko?
Tama pa, Mr.
Now,
Chair.
if I may ask, how would you know or how would you be able to find out na merong information na nakuha muna before they have conducted their YSL?
Wala po kaming information on that. So, either may separate sila as part nung purchase of information and then separate yung rewards, or nabayaran na siya same with rewards.
Pero requirement po nyo yun, di ba? Requirement na circular.
Yeah, kaya po yung yung
Because
additional
that
requirement.
is precisely the reason why you will justify the buying of information,
Yes,
which would
Mr.
lead
Chair.
to a successful event or operation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Di po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasi ginagawa rin namin nung nasa servisyo ako yun eh. I know that.
Yes, Mr.
Pero
Chair.
parang pagkaintindi ko sa inyong clearing instruments, parang hindi, just because there was a certification that the YSL o YLS pala were successful, tama na yun. Parang gano'n ang pagkaintindi ko. Samantalang nung kami ang nasa serbisyo, ang requirement is that ipapakita namin na may information kaming binayaran, and because of that information, an operation was conducted and it was successful. Hindi ba dapat gano'n?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero in the case of the confidential fund of the OVP and the DepEd, hindi ko nakikita yon.
Yun nga po, kaya ni-require namin sila mag-submit ng additional documents. And yung nag-review po, naging sufficient na po yung certification from yung 5 certifications.
And that is enough to show na tama po yung ginawa nila, just because nag-submit sila ng certification that YLS was conducted and it was successful. Di ba ang concept dapat nun is you use confidential fund to buy information, and because of that information bought or acquired, you conduct an operation,
Yes,
and
Mr.
that
Chair.
operation should turn successful.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ganun po yung requirement sa amin nung nasa serbisyo kami. Intelligence fund.
Yes, Mr.
Basically, they are the same.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So, bakit po naniwala kayo sa certification lang na successful yung pag-conduct ng YSL?
Since yan nga po, independent na agency po yung nagbigay ng certification, and sabi naman po niya na because of the YLS nga wala pong na-influence ng mga bata, we deemed it successful. Compared po dun sa yung sabi niyo po kanina na yung sa VP SPG group, ang sinabit lang po nila was a listing of the activities of the Vice President, which is wala naman pong information kung may success ba na may successful activity ba na nagawa because of the information they have gathered.
Yun yung sa security group.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And is there any way that you will determine that the confidential fund of the OVP and DepEd, these funds were used sa activity ng VPS security group? Kasi they have their own funds. That was the first question I asked you a while ago.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That the Presidential Security Group and part of that is the Vice President Security Group, may pondo po sila naka-allocate talaga.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, but they were not able to show, if I will appraise yung documents, they were not able to show that confidential funds of the OVP and the DepEd were used in such activities.
Yes,
Can you
Mr.
see that they were used?
No, Mr. Chair. Kaya nga po, hindi naman siya na-consider since yung list of activities lang po ang sinubmit nila, which is alam nila since sila naman po yung kasama ni VP sa mga activities na yun.
But anyway, hindi pa rin yata tapos page. Ready na, sir. Ready na? Pakishow nga yung yung acknowledgement receipts dated July 27, tsaka July 25, 2023.